Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Megan if you're new here, and today I'm going to be filming my contemporary bag collection. I just filmed my luxury bag collection and I would like to do a separate video for my vintage handbags. I just got a few more from my grandma. They were passed down through the family, so I'm really excited to share those. Those are very special to me. I'm going to be quite chatty in that video. Now, this is kind of just everything in between. I don't really know like where luxury begins. Is it a price point thing? Is it a history thing? Is it just something we all kind of agree on and then there's a gray area? I have no idea. Like, for example, I do have some Longchamp bags in here, and some of them are really pricey for being like simple bags, but I think they're really well made. I decided just to put them in here even though I have put them into like luxury categories before. So this really was just a catch-all. Didn't want to think too much about it, so let's get started. I am gonna go roughly in order of like most used to least used. Something that might surprise you if you're familiar with my channel. Oh, I do want to say this one thing. Now, for some reason, most of the bags around me are black handbags. Now, you might not know that I really only just started collecting luxury handbags about 3 years ago. Really like 2.5 years ago, and then in 2020 I got very into it. I finally gave myself permission to spend money on that kind of thing. Before that, I would... Stinky, please stop interrupting me. Thank you. Okay, before that I would mostly just be buying thrifted handbags, or I would have 2 or 3 handbags, like some of which are in front of me. I would really only have 2 to 3 black handbags, and my wallet, all of my stuff would just live in one of those handbags. I would switch into the bigger one or the smaller one depending on what I needed. So my habits have really changed in the last few years, just in terms of my lifestyle. Like, I gravitate towards smaller handbags, but now I will actually get into this video. Starting out with my most used bag from last year, this is a no-brainer. I absolutely love the Coach Kip Turnlock bag. It's really useful. It's way too small for a lot of people. I know some people mentioned that on my review video, and that's totally fair. I mean, my phone just barely fits, but if you've seen some of my micro bags, you'll know that's not an issue for me. To each their own. I like that this is quite small, and we'll talk about size later with some other handbags. This is a great crossbody. It goes with everything. There's no denim transfer on the back. I saw this in a Coach window and thought, yes, I need to try that on, and the moment I did, I knew I was going to be buying it. I love it when you have just those no-brainer moments when you're trying on a handbag. I think it's a really good price for the quality, and yeah, I'm happy with it. Moving on, this has to be my next most used handbag. So we had the white one and now we have the black one. So I have had this for years. I got this on a sale table at Nordstrom Rack. The brand, so this is the only branding on it. It's a slanted B, and I believe it's from the brand Brian Atwell. I've tried a couple times to find out more about this brand. I think they mostly do shoes, but it was so long ago I don't remember. I certainly didn't find anything else that interested me. And I do think it was like mostly party shoes and stuff, but I love this bag. It's so handy, especially because it has a few easy access compartments and then this center zip. It also has this really bright blue goat skin side. I don't know if you call this like a gusset or like an accordion style, but I love this bag. It's so shiny and squished with age. The glazing is still perfect. It's held up beautifully. This was, it must have been under $100, because I know at the time I was definitely not spending more than that on a bag. The only bad thing I can say about it is these chains, because they are all rectangle, these links together, they'll often get tangled with one another. Like, these just don't twist easily, and sometimes they get all tangled, but it's fine. It's easily fixed. My husband hates this bag, so it's okay if you actually don't like any of my handbags. My husband hates this bag. He thinks the blue on the side is hideous, which I feel like is really strong considering that it's not really all that visible. I happen to like the bright pop of blue on the inside. And considering that like I'm really the only one who sees it, who cares? But I love how this is worn. I like that it's all squished with age from being worn against my hip, and how shiny the leather is. Yeah, so second most used handbag. Getting into the rest of the bags, this is kind of the middle category. I didn't use these as much, but there was certainly a bag I reached for throughout the year, and even more in 2020 because I didn't have the white bag. But this is actually a crossbody. I just have the strap detached right here. This is the Nordstrom brand leather handbag. I really don't know what it was called. It was just on a sale pile. I want to say I got this 3-4 years ago. This was me branching into colors where I had all black handbags and then I had this. I love it because it has a nice generous pocket on the back. It does have card slots, but I never use them. So it has the strap goes through those loops right here. And it's a generous inside. I can fit a card holder in here so I don't actually have to take my cards out to put them into little slots. And my phone can fit in the back pocket, or it can fit inside the bag. Nordstrom bags I think they're decent for the price. I want to say, like, if you really wanted to start being really picky about quality, I would say it's like just under Tory Burch quality. I think Tory Burch is a little bit better. I think Rag & Bone is much better. But for the price, it's excellent. I'm so pleased with how this is held up. The number one use for this bag is when my husband and I take long walks. It's our favorite thing to do in the spring, summer, fall. That's the main thing we're doing together when we have some time on the weekend. Like, we'll walk for 5-10+ miles in the city when we can. And this is excellent, especially in those warmer months because I'm not wearing a coat, so I do want somewhere to put my phone. If I'm wearing like a dress, I don't always have pockets, and if they do, they're flimsy, like they can't hold up my big phone. So this is really nice just to have something light and comfortable to wear. And you know, it's a nice color, so definitely one that I've enjoyed using. Now for the Longchamp totes. So I have a nylon one and then I have a leather one that I will get to in a moment. This actually is still full of stuff because I just used it the other day. I had a little sleepover at a girlfriend's place. This held everything. It had my pajamas, a raincoat, my toiletries, a bottle of champagne, my book, my notebook, a water bottle, some snacks, everything. Yeah. I definitely love this tote. I have to admit, I did not understand the Longchamp nylon tote hype for the longest time because they're quite pricey for totes, you know? You can't walk down a city block in Philadelphia without seeing a woman carrying a navy or a black Longchamp tote. So I always thought, like, yeah, it's nice, but it's just a tote. Like, why, you know? And the nice thing was I was able to get this heavily reduced because apparently not everyone wanted a bright orange tote. I like it. I think it's fun. And I think I ended up getting it for about 70 bucks on sale at Nordstrom. These are definitely, you can get them on like Nordstrom Rack and stuff, I think for even less, or you can save up vouchers. So I have found it so handy since getting it. Absolutely eating my words. I mean, I was never terribly against it, obviously. I was certainly willing to try it, and now I'll always want to have just one available to me. I use it for picnics, I use it when I travel, you know, quick overnight things, or if it's raining and I need to have a long day in the city where I can just hold lots of stuff. They're incredibly handy. I totally get why people love them now. And it's just really light. I mean, the nylon has held up really well. I'm seeing the teeniest tiny bit of wear on the pointed corners. But other than that, such a great bag. And yeah, no marks against it. Up next is my leather Longchamp tote. This was significantly more expensive, but absolutely worth it in my opinion. It has been indestructible. And honestly, between these two totes, they're the reason I don't ever see myself getting like a luxury tote. I'm stumbling over my words. They are great. They're really useful, really hard wearing, and I think beautiful. This is just really simple and elegant. There's no standout hardware. I do have some paper, paper and stuffing in there, but it does have a bright orange interior. It has that leather pocket on the inside. It's just a simple toggle, and you can button up the sides if you want to change the look. I know how much I put this bag through, and it should be battered. It should look battered, but it looks immaculate because this thing has been everywhere with me in all different kinds of weather. The straps have really softened up. I think the only negative thing I could say is that they were quite stiff when I first got the bag, and so it would usually slip off my shoulder. It's nice that the straps are thick, but I find that thicker straps do tend to slip off, whereas like the thinner ones, they don't offer as much support, but they really weigh down and sit on your shoulder. Up next, okay, we're really getting into the category of bags where I just did not use them very much, and if you can believe it, I've actually used a couple other bags even less than this one. I did make a whole video about this bag because it was officially like my first big expensive bag purchase. I got this when I started my job and just really have not gotten the use out of it because it's a backpack. I'll link that video and try not to repeat everything from it, but essentially I really only used this twice this year. I have decided to keep it because there have been a few occasions where it suited my needs for that day. Like for example, I just went to go get my hair done. I don't usually get color, but I decided to do a cut in color, and this was great because it was raining that day. I wanted something that was closed up, that I didn't have to fuss over, that could fit my water bottle, my book, my notebook, everything like that. Now, I could have certainly taken my zippered Longchamp tote, but I just wanted something a little bit more sleek, you know, a nice black leather bag that could still hold everything and be buttoned up, because there are times that I have to walk away from the chair and just leave my bag behind. So while I wouldn't, let's say I didn't have this, I certainly wouldn't buy a bag for those occasions, but since I have it, I'm happy to keep it. You know, I'm certainly content to keep using this and just see what happens. Okay, so I only have 3 more handbags to show you. This definitely has not been used very much at all. I did use it last week. I was preparing to make this video, and so of course it got me thinking about handbags I haven't been using. And here we have what to me is a very large handbag. I know for a lot of people this is just like mid-size. This for me is a large black pit of a bag. It is a beautiful quality crossbody bag from AllSaints. It's made with a super soft nubuck leather. I still really like the style. It can go crossbody on the shoulder. It looks really cute when it's all slouchy in the nook of the arm. It actually kind of reminds me of, like, you know how the original baguette was quite slouchy and cool? This one, the new one, is very modern and structured and still really beautiful. But I like the slouch. Anyway, the thing about this, when I bought this, I loved it so much that I actually bought it in 2 colors. I originally got it in a taupe. I loved that. And I went back and I got the black when it went on sale. I actually recently gave the taupe one to my mom. That's why I don't have it here. She was visiting and saying that she was looking for a handbag, something big, something cool, something that can like hold all the stuff she carries when she goes out. And I was like, do you like this? Here you go. And I might need to ask her if she wants it in black. The thing about this bag, I still love the style, and that's why I've held on to it all this time. But when I bought this, I was using a Continental wallet. I was carrying a big notebook. I would always have a bottle of water with me. My phone was bigger. Like, having a big wallet makes all the difference because it's easy to grab in this bag, you know, it fills the bottom. Whereas now, I just used this last week and it was so irritating because I really didn't need to fill it. I did have a water bottle, But with a tiny card case, I was constantly grasping and trying to find my stuff. I just couldn't reach for anything easily, where I know for a lot of people, they think these mini bags are crazy, but like you have this much room. You always know where your stuff is. You just grab it and you're done, and you don't have any extra room, or you don't have to fuss about like what to bring with you. That's just me personally, and I don't know what to do with all this space, so I don't know what to do with this bag. Gorgeous quality. I really can't say enough good things about AllSaints, Rag & Bone, those kind of just relaxed contemporary brands I really, really like, but I don't need a bag that big. Moving along to the next one. This is another backpack. Don't ask me why I have another backpack, but I got this from the Cambridge Satchel Company when I was in Scotland. Unfortunately, I do have some bad memories now attached to this bag. Does anyone else make associations like that? I would love to break it. It's not the bag's fault, but I do. It's also an incredibly annoying bag to use. So it looks quite cool. It has this bar on the back, which snaps right here. You can flip it over and then open. But that's actually incredibly finicky when you're trying to move quickly and check out at a store or just pay for something. Really the only thing this bag is suitable for is taking your notebook and having a long leisurely day at a cafe, sipping cappuccinos. You know, you have to get your wallet out once and then you're done, and then you're just sitting down. But if you need to carry anything useful, if you need to get your stuff out frequently or quickly, it is such a nuisance. And also, as you're moving, I won't be able to recreate it now, but the bar constantly slides. Even when it's hooked in, it will constantly slide behind you. It just takes on a life of its own. And it's just incredibly annoying in a number of ways. It's so narrow, so unlike the Tory Burch bag, you can't fit very much in here. The only reason I carry a big bag nowadays is because I need to carry a bottle of water. My notebook, all that kind of stuff, everything can fit in the other bags I have. So as cute as this bag is, it's a pain in the butt. Now finally, to wrap up this collection, a bag that has been very, very much loved, but not used at all this past year. This was a special gift from my mom when I was 13 years old. It is a Dooney & Bourke purple tote. I think this was about like 60–70% off at Macy's at the time. A very special gift, because like my parents definitely didn't do a lot of fashiony things, and this was a big deal. I was going into high school and I used it every single day. I used it a ton in college, but a really sentimental gift from my mom. But I think when bags start having holes in the bottom, like, it makes sense for them to retire. It's covered in scuffs, the corners have completely worn through. It really held up, considering that this was given to a child who treated the bag accordingly. Like, it's pretty beat up, but it held up beautifully for many, many years. The sides are completely cracked, the inside is stained. It's definitely too tired for me to take it out, to take it to work. I think 2 years ago I just started bringing it to the gym because I didn't have my Longchamp tote yet. I just wanted to use it, but now, like, even the stitching is coming undone on the bottom. I can't reasonably use it anymore. I would love to know, like, do you have anything like this, and what do you do with it? Because I really don't know. I mean, it's way too beat up to be given to somebody else. Yeah, do I just chuck it? I don't know. But that is my last bag, the least used, but I think that's okay. I would love to know if you have a favorite contemporary bag designer, if there are any bags you can recommend, because I'm always looking for a simple crossbody to use for everyday errands. I love this size. I think I mentioned I loved Tory Burch, Rag & Bone, AllSaints. The Nordstrom brand is definitely worth checking out if you just want something super simple, really minimal, like, for a good price. I'm pleased with how that has held up, considering that I just take it on long, sweaty walks. But yeah, this This wraps up my contemporary handbag collection. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye. Time I use it. Stinky. Stinko. Okay, I'm just gonna sip my coffee while he whines.